If there is one character that really carried the entirety of the sequel trilogy, that was of course no other than Kylo Ren / Ben Solo, portrayed by actor Adam Driver. And how that character really was connected to the Skywalkers so closely is what really made the character all the more special. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also, make sure to check me out on Twitter at Mike01. Now, looking ahead to the future of Star Wars, alright, we have a lot going on right now. We have John and Dave really working their absolute best on a handful of projects that have yet to be announced, that will be announced later this fall, so keep your eyes open for that. This fall is going to be a big portion of when the new Star Wars projects are really going to be announced, and a bigger part of the roadmap will be unveiled. Basically, what Lucasfilm is trying to do, they're trying to really kind of create somewhat of a copy of Marvel by really releasing or announcing TV shows in phases. They want to do this phasing type system similar to what the Marvel Cinematic Universe does, at least with the movies and such. That, to me, I mean, it could work, it could not work, it depends on how it's all going to be organized. But moving on from all of this, Adam Driver, over the years, he really was the very actor that carried the entirety of the sequel trilogy, as well as his own character. There is no denying the fact here that Adam Driver was the only one that really had to keep most of the story elements a secret to himself. In fact, Adam Driver even unveiled that he knew the overall fate of Ben Solo in The Rise of Skywalker, and that he really could not share that with some of the actors and or actresses. And that really does speak volumes, because it tells us that Adam Driver really had a lot going on with developing that character and getting to know the character very well from 2015 all the way until the middle of 2019 when they wrapped in August. So here's the real exciting piece, is that with, of course, both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars universe, with shows like Kenobi and Ahsoka, it's described that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are making sure to bring in tons of Star Wars Legends material for the fandom to enjoy. Now, it's best described that Lucasfilm is set to make major announcements this fall and next spring during Star Wars Celebration. It's noted that in a recent interview with actor Adam Driver was able to unveil some exciting things about the Star Wars universe. When questioned on if he will be returning to Star Wars, Adam Driver quickly replied that I am not at liberty to say, or if I will be coming back to Star Wars, but what I can say is that what Lucasfilm is doing with the future projects with Ben Solo and Kylo Ren is really going to take fans by surprise. When questioned if Adam was actually in the talks with Lucasfilm about future projects, Adam Driver was smooth to simply say that you're making me feel like I am now being interrogated in a prison, as he chuckles. But if I am in the talks with Lucasfilm, you will know very soon about anything to do with me being attached to future projects. Adam Driver was also eventually questioned how he felt about the sequel trilogy movies. Adam Driver went on to state that he had tons of fun on the sets of those films. Did creative differences come into play with them? Yes, but it was a fun experience and a chance of a lifetime to play a major Star Wars character. Now I can look back and say I was part of the Skywalker saga. Adam Driver also made it clear that he does have some announcements coming in the near future that will really excite the fans to a whole new level. Okay, so what Adam Driver was doing here, this is basically kind of like a direct and a non-direct way of saying that he is indeed coming back to Star Wars. And we talked about this about, I would say 8 months ago, give or take, about the Rise of Skywalker sequel series, this lifelike animation style show that's going to take place in a post-Rise of Skywalker timeline. That, to me, I think is the most interesting aspect of the franchise, because we're going to be able to see exactly how Ben Solo is going to be incorporated into the story. We've gone over some of the leaks before in the past of how it's going to involve Ben Solo's Force Ghost and how he's going to come back to life at some point in time, temporarily speaking, which, by the way, was an original idea by George Lucas for a Return of the Jedi script and what he wanted to do with Obi-Wan Kenobi, mind you. So here's the real interesting thing about Adam Driver, alright, is that he basically wanted to tell the fans that he's involved with the show, but at the same exact time, he can't. And this also pertains to what's set to be announced this fall. Again, like I say, this fall, it's going to be big, it's going to be huge. A lot of Star Wars material is going to be announced. TV shows, movies, comics, books, novels. And that's just the beginning. Then next May, roughly 1 year from now, is when even more projects are going to drop, or be unveiled, I should say, by Lucasfilm. All of this is going to be done by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, as well as George Lucas and other new creators stepping on board, as well as already established ones out there that will actually be unveiling a lot of different things about Star Wars, including Kevin Feige, mind you. So the thing about Adam Driver coming back into the Star Wars universe, I think excites a lot of fans. I think that a lot of fans respect Adam Driver. I think also a lot of fans love the character of Ben Solo / Kylo Ren. Some of you out there may not like that character, and that's fine. I feel that the character had so much more potential, kind of like how Finn had so much more potential. I always say this about the sequel trilogy. When you look at these movies, you look at Finn and you look at Kylo Ren. They could have done so much more. They could have explored more about their past. They could have explored more about their goals, more about their attachment to either, of course, the First Order, or the Skywalkers, or in Finn's case, of course, everything to do with the Resistance. They could have explored more about that. And honestly, when it came to Finn using the saber in The Force Awakens, that was, yes, an intentional mislead to kind of trick the fans into thinking that he was going to be the Jedi, but then it was really Rey who becomes the Jedi. So that was a big marketing stunt by Disney that a lot of people did not like. And I can understand that point of view from some people, but for what it's worth, when we look at the sequel trilogy movies, right, and what they really stand for, it did take a little bit away from the Skywalker philosophy. In fact, it took a lot of it away. In my book, if they really wanted to do things correctly, they could have made Kylo Ren, or Ben Solo in this case, have had more screen time with Han Solo, his own father, to kind of create a bigger impact when Han Solo got killed off in The Force Awakens. Just spitballing, a lot of ideas out there right now that they could have done that to actually make that death a little bit more, I guess you could say, emotionally driven to the fandom, to the audience. Because when Han Solo got killed, yeah, it was sad, but it just felt a little out of place because it didn't really feel like a father and a son reuniting. It just felt like two strangers meeting and saying, yeah, it's been a long time. That's what it felt like, to me at least. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, Adam Driver, this most definitely is a big hint toward the Rise of Skywalker sequel series and what's being brewed by, of course, everything that there has to do with Disney, Lucasfilm, and others out there. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, let me know what you think about Adam Driver as an actor and as Kylo Ren. Did you guys like the character of Kylo Ren? Did you guys not like the character? I know that there is a big divide between the fandom and their perception of some of these fan favorite characters and some of these hated characters in the sequel trilogy. So, like I've said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.